This is an artsy podcast now. We're making art
I started
in the
recording.
form of fucking fart jokes and dick
Can't
humor.
spell fart without art.
Exactly.
Got him.
I fucking just got done on a wild excursion to find a fucking Apple Pencil. That's right. The Apple Pencil. The $100 shiny white appliance that allows you to use fucking coloring book apps on your iPad.
This is the
That's
Jack It
what
Off
that's
podcast.
why I got in this so late, was because I was tearing apart my house for a pencil.
The same
That's how
pencil you
far
left
we've
at my
come.
house for the month.
Whatever, man. I don't want to talk about it.
You had to color with your finger. Those were hard times.
Yeah, listen,
Finger paintings.
when the program doesn't allow you to go outside the lines, you got to improvise. Okay. Let's take a deep breath. Discover what episode this is.
Oh, I already started it. Remember?
You did not already start it.
Yeah, I did. I just said it.
The party don't start till I walk in.
I'm the editor. I decide when the podcast
Oh,
starts.
is that right?
Yeah, it
Okay.
is.
So you can just edit out where I bet you're not gonna fucking edit out any of this. That's what you're gonna do.
You're damn
You
straight.
fucking omnipotent. I'm the editor. I wear the big boy pants. I can edit out whatever I want. If you're pissing me off, I can just edit it out. Good.
I'll just delete the file
That's
right now.
real
I'll
art.
stop
Yeah,
recording,
you can
and
delete
can
the
just-
recording. This is the Jacket Off Podcast, episode 53.
Is it?
We're here. The Brent DAC was episode 52. We'll check in with the stock portfolio later on in the broadcast. But for now, we're here. We made it back. We're in one piece. We had beautiful Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants-esque adventures together. We discovered things about ourselves. We pushed the limits of melatonin production in our skin. We contributed to the human experience, Dylan. We experienced the majesty, the sheer unadulterated debauchery, and we went the distance. We participated in the most American of all events. No, it's not the Nathan's hot dog eating contest. No, it's not the Daytona 500. It's close. It's the Indy 500. Yes, that's right. We
Same
got
number of
in.
laps.
We
Same-
got in the old van. Thus, the Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants.
That's what they did. They got in a van.
I don't know what they did, Dylan. I
thought
never
they
saw
sent-
that movie.
Yeah, me neither. I thought they sent pants to each other.
Let's call it road trip, Euro trip. Let's call it
Road trip.
road trip, dude. Sex Drive. Let's call it Sex Drive. The film from the early 2000s,
That's a
starring
good
what's his
movie.
name. So, Dylan, on our sex drive, our massively depleted sex drive. Let's just put it that way. We encountered so many things. We basically recorded a 10-hour podcast that never will see the light of day. There was no microphones. There was no recording. We had 10 hours. Well, we had 20 hours, technically. 20 hours of nonstop talking in the form of delirium incited by sun poisoning, drinking too many natter days, and
Oh, what are
seeing
you, the
way, way,
government?
way.
What are you, the government? Don't blame it on the natter days.
What am I, you fucking narc? You narc
You a
piece of
cop?
shit. You what?
Huh, piggy? Oink oink.
Oink, oink, oink. Well, Dylan, I told you that it feels like there's nothing to say. It feels like the retelling of this story is very challenging because the experience is one that you kind of, it's a singular thing. You kind of just have it.
Plus, I was
You
there,
do
so you
it
don't really gotta
and
explain
you
it to me.
experience it. Yeah, but you know what? I think we have to. I think we have to. I think we have to. We have to. I think we have to create a memorialization of our experience. Just like when you listen to old
Memoir.
episodes of this podcast, and I don't know what's going on with this whole Old Town Road thing, this newfangled Old Town Road thing that apparently then suddenly became the crutch by which we stood on the entire trip that we went on. It was the Old Town Road became the symbol of the trip. It became the soundtrack by which we annoyed the fuck out of each other, by how we rallied together. We
Yeah.
decided that
It it
if we
has
were
two functions. It can either annoy the fuck out of you or get you going in the morning. And you just gotta decide what type of person you're gonna be that day, baby.
I think we had to, in many respects, decide what people we were going to be before we even sat in the car to drive the first fucking mile of the trip, to be honest with you. We had to decide how were we going to participate in this? What type of people were we going to be? Were we going to be the 21-year-old versions of ourselves and younger? Is that what we were going to do? Did we make a decision early on without saying it that we were going to approach this like we used to approach things, where with a healthy amount of cynicism and a healthy amount of enthusiasm at the same time, we get in that van and we drive 700 miles to get to Indianapolis. And then it was just a day. If you really think about it, and actually, it wasn't even really an entire day. We woke up at 5 o'clock. I mean, if it's a work day, we did a work day. We put in the 8 hours, Dylan. That's
you
what we
mean
did.
driving there?
Well, no.
What are you talking about?
We
What wasn't a
we
day?
drove there. The event was a day. We drove back.
Yeah.
That's how it went down. And I never want to do it again.
Nope. Oh no.
100%. But look,
I think my ass still hurts.
we all
I wanted,
We
when I
all-
got home, I wanted to set my chair on fire because it looks like a car seat. And the thought of sitting in it made me want to just toss out the fucking window.
What a cruel, cruel irony. I, in many ways, can't remember any of it. It feels like very similar to when, like, you would take a boatload of drugs or you were drunk the whole time. It felt even the parts where we were traveling, I just can't. There's nothing. There's nothing there.
I know something I'll never forget. You guys fucked me on the cheese barn, but it's neither here nor there. I don't hold a grudge.
Dylan,
I don't hold a grudge. We got off on the exit, the same exit that the cheese barn was on. Could have just taken the right instead of the left. I don't hold a grudge.
I think the whole trip
I'm glad we got those chicken nuggets, though. I don't hold a grudge.
was probably. I think the whole trip was probably a real metaphor for our expectations about life. Sometimes it doesn't go the way that you want it to go. But does it go exactly the way that it needs and should go? Yeah, absolutely.
Well, it did. Yeah.
There was no conceivable way. There was no reason under any circumstances that we made it there. There was nothing indicated about the entire experience that would have told me or anybody else on this trip that we should have made it. It was almost like traveling through a multiverse. Fucking garage doors. Seriously, with this fucking place. Can we just put the fucking garage doors down and just leave them down? It's fucking 2:00 on a Sunday. Your car, what are you doing? Why are you leaving? All right, anyway. These fucking people around this goddamn apartment, just garage doors, garage doors, garage doors. Anyway. I feel like it was traveling through the multiverse, Dylan, where every single step of the way, there was 2 separate paths. And I'd be willing to bet you that if we went to fucking Grandpa's Cheese Emporium Barn and Warehouse, that something would have happened down the road that would have changed the entire path that we were traveling. We just happened to walk in that Wendy's where the 40 ugliest people in the Midwest happened to just converge.
Also be there.
Just at one time. They all decided.
Also, why do you need to know my fucking name? This isn't Starbucks. Just give me my chicken nuggets.
Because with the garage doors, really? More garage doors. How many is there? Is everybody opening them at one time? Please. I'm trying to get on with my life. So look, here's the thing. That Wendy's needed to happen, Dylan. That's what I'm trying to tell you is that despite the cold, rubbery chicken nuggets and the 5 total teeth that were in everybody's mouth in that building, we needed to be there. We needed to be there at the exact time that we were there. If not, our car would have rolled into a ditch and exploded on the way out. If we would have went to Grandpa's Cheese Barn, we would have run over at least one of the 170 deer that we saw at the side of the fucking road, and that thing would have sent us for 18 flips who had all been dead. That's why. That's why the whole trip, Dylan, was the way that it was.
You're only saying that because it turned out all right. You never know.
There's no reason why I shouldn't feel that way, because the amount of factors that come into this whole thing, at every single turn, we could have looked one way, waited 10 more seconds. We could have done something completely different, went somewhere else, and it wouldn't have worked. The fact that we stood outside that house for 25 minutes trying to get the fucking key to work at the Airbnb means that there wasn't a slow gas leak that blew up the house. It just, the timing was perfect. Everything just like those tumblers in that lock, Dylan. All the tumblers of the Indy 500 trip, they all came into place, and then that key turned, and then somehow we stayed alive. So many instances, Dylan. That's all I'm trying to tell you. The trip defies all logic. It just doesn't work.
Sounds like a lot of fancy words for getting out of going to a cheese barn.
Listen, if I would have tried to describe it for somebody, I would have said, look, it was a fantastical journey that should have never happened and transpired the way that it did, and we didn't go to the cheese barn. It's really the 2 things that I learned.
Or the Children's Museum with the giant dinosaurs.
Look at Dylan. If we would have went to the dinosaur museum, here's what would have happened. We would have went to the dinosaur museum, and then it would have been the butterfly effect. A whole series of unfortunate circumstances surrounding the attendance of the dinosaur museum would have transpired in a series of events that would have destroyed the fabric that we weaved into this quilt of sheer debauchery. this unbelievable tapestry of
Terror.
events.
Tapestry of
Terror,
terror.
Tapestry of Terror. It's a sick album name, dude. The tapestry of terror that is the Indy 500 was fueled largely by the human spirit, an unwillingness to just give up. We were pioneers, Dylan, truly pioneers. Truly in the sense that there was a lot of truly spiked seltzer all over the place. And then also this in the truest sense of the word.
In the 2 Chainz true sense.
Exactly. All of those things made us the pioneers that we were. What would possess a group of people, Dylan, I ask you, to drive a quarter of the way across the country to see this, whatever this was? Well, it was Skrillex. You know what I'm saying? Just something about him, man. Skrillex is the new, for us, it's the new Grateful Dead. We take off time from work, Dylan. We put in vacation time to go see someone blast us in the face with EDM bangers for an hour and a half. That's what we do. For the hour and a half of time, really, if you really want to get granular with it, we drove 9 hours each way to experience the efforts of one man, the efforts of one singular artist that we ran into fucking how many years ago now? 9 years ago?
Like 2008, right?
2007, 2008. Yeah. That was when Dylan, the first semblances of this thing that we called, that we didn't know what it was. This thing that we called dubstep, this thing that we called electro came into the American populace, the American lexicon. And everybody decided that it was bro music. We were like, all right, that's cool. We're a bunch of bros. That's what we're doing. Hand me another Truly, bro. From there became a long, long romance, a long bromance of Justin, Dylan, Brent, Andrew, and several others whom came in and out of our lives, while the whole time in the background we were hearing exactly. We were hearing Recess. We were hearing Scary Monsters. We were hearing Jack U. We were hearing Dog Blood. We were hearing all of these things that this one little pimply, nerdy little guy, he said to himself, well, I don't know what he said to himself, Dylan, but whatever he did, he spoke to us in a way. He created a conversation between our little group of friends that has persisted over the past 10 years. And now we're almost 30. It's a bunch of dudes, Dylan. Some of them are over 30. It's a bunch of 30-year-old dudes that drive across the country to hear a bunch of fucking modulated synths. That's what it is, really, isn't it? It's the camaraderie. Dylan, what a time. You know what I'm saying? You never feel more dopamine deprived than you do after a fucking gigantic concert where people are doing titty luges off of each other and standing on dirty fucking mud-ridden coolers. All you can think when you come home is regular life is just so boring. Regular life is disgusting. I literally hate everyone. All the people that I come in contact with after this concert, I just look at and I'm like, you weren't there, man. You fucking suck. You to me, look, my friends, I barely like them sometimes, right? We're all cooped up in a fucking car. We're doing the thing, right? We're doing the movie thing. Doing that thing you see in the movies. Not Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants.
Or just heard of the Traveling Pants. We don't know.
We don't
Neither of
know.
us have seen
Either
it.
way, I don't really know whether or not it is that. What I can imagine is maybe by the context of what I see in the trailer for the film and the subsequent media coverage of the film in popular culture. There's some pants. They
Uh,
all like each other. They do stuff
Blake
together. They
Lively.
laugh in
Is
a
she in it?
convertible with the wind in their hair.
Is Blake
They
Lively in it?
they make food and they laugh at each other and
What's that
they
other
cry.
America Fiera? Is that her name?
Dylan, a derivative female-focused road trip empowerment film, despite all of the parallels that it might draw
I bet they
with
liked
our
each
own
other more.
experience. Dylan, we're not actors. We're not professionally paid to like each other. It just happens. That's really the movie that everybody wants to see. They want to see the unfabricated, unfettered, unscripted view of six normal people. Suddenly it sounds like a real world intro. It was when six people stopped caring about their personal health and started dancing around in a mud pit. Indy 500. Real world road rules challenge. No, Dylan, we will not pull off at the cheese barn, you fucking asshole. Whoa, now it's starting to get real. Now, see, it's, a lot of it's thinly veiled. You know what I'm saying? When you're in the car, when you're cooped up with everybody, you might be giggling one minute. You might be giggling at Big Tit Betty and Dong the Bounty Hunter. You know what I'm saying? But then the next minute, you might be like, I fucking hate every single one of you. I don't want to be in this car with you anymore. But then,
That's when you
somebody
close your
says something.
eyes.
That's when you close your eyes, you go to sleep, you think better of yourself. You're like, well, I'm better than this. Come on. I can't just hate I mean, I can. It's, sometimes it's easier than other times is what I'm saying. But look,
Yeah. I fucking
just
hate
close
you,
your
you know
eyes.
what I'm saying?
Look, just close your eyes and fall asleep and then let the smooth sounds of me trying to come up with comedy bits for 10 hours just wash over you. Let them wash over you. And this delirium, the delirium happens, Dylan. Then you don't know what time it is. You have no idea where you are, what you're doing. Why am I doing this? The questions start coming up. Then you have to push that shit down. You know what I'm saying? You push it down, close your eyes again, eat some pork rinds, drink a Natterday. Then everybody has a good laugh again. And then we repeat this process, right? We repeat this process of everybody hates each other. I hate you. You're all my best friends. The car smells like ass. See a dead deer at the side of the road.
Laugh.
We feel bad. I don't know if we do. Is it funny? No, I don't think it is, but maybe it is now.
It wasn't fun. The first one wasn't funny. The 80th one. Now it's like seeing a horse on the side of the road and going, horse.
It's a manner of repetition, right? You start to notice things.
Yeah.
Over 9 hours, you start to notice that the same jokes come up over and over, mostly coming from me. You start to notice that the same deer, that's the same one. No matter how many miles we passed between that dead ass deer at the fucking side of the road, it's still the same deer. It's all of them are the same deer. You're just seeing the same thing. It's as many little white dots in the center of the road as that. It's how many deer there are at the side of the road. Because we know that Ohio and Indiana have a serious deer problem now. These are facts that we've learned. That's part of the learning process. We also learned that you should always bring a towel. That's always a thing. Whether you're going to an Airbnb or you're going to a concert down the road. If you're allowed to bring in a fucking backpack, follow the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy formula. You need a fucking towel. I'm telling you right now, this is from me to you. This is from me to the any public that will ever not listen to it now or not listen to this later. You just need to listen to what I say right now. You need to fucking reapply your sunscreen, and you need to bring a towel. That's all I'm saying. Everything else works itself out. Everything else. They got water for you there at the venue most of the time. If it's hot, that's fine. Biggest thing is hydration. It's still water. But they don't got towels for you there. And the towel, Dylan, if all you can do to just give yourself a little bit to feel like a human again, I think that's really what we're talking about, right? We're in a big pit of muddy, sweaty bodies. You start to feel like you don't exist. You start to feel like your soul is leaving your existence. Like, what is this? Why? I've become absorbed into a 900-degree macabre, Lovecraftian, writhing heat body of nasty, ecstasy-riddled people writhing around like a goddamn,
like a rat king in the sewers.
Like, yeah, like,
where all
God
the rats
damn it.
All their tails get tied together and they just move as one.
And for someone to say in this instance, in this again Lovecraftian nightmare, this is amazing. It takes a special type of person, doesn't it? It takes the same people, Dylan, who drove 650 miles to see a man in his late 20s, early 30s.
Yeah.
Turn knobs and get up and stand up on top of something. For that group of people, the same group of people that did that are the same group of people that wouldn't have it any other way. They understand the risks involved. They understand that you will become part of the assimilated, warm, fucking sweaty, moist body of an entire group of people, of this rat king that we're talking about. It's the same people. They're all there. It's, as I've said before, it's like that quote from Rob Zombie. All of the weird kids that you knew in high school, that you knew in college, you just put them in one area and you play the music that they like from that one area, from that one era, and suddenly you got metal, or in this case, suddenly you have EDM. Everybody was there, Dylan. All the favorites, the bros, the America people, all of the races of EDM were fairly represented here. It was the most exquisite cross section of the sausage of America, perfectly cased and sliced on the bias, so that you can see what's inside it. How's the sausage made, Dylan? How is it made? You can see all the little components. You go to the snake pit. You get in there with the fucking writhing rat king bodies, and you wriggle around with them for an hour and a half, and then you leave. That's all you do. You walk away. Your cooler empty, abandoned, your head held high, off to fight another day, off to the office, to push more papers, to file more complaints.
To listen to Karen's stupid ass talk about this new recipe that she just cooked up.
Karen, I swear to God, if you tell me about another fucking Pinterest recipe, you will force me. I will be forced to abdicate my responsibilities as a human and take another 600-mile ride to another EDM artist somewhere else in the country so that I can forget that just came out of your stupid fucking face. That stupid ass Pinterest recipe just came out of your face. I have to go see a concert now. I have to. That's what summer's about. Taking all of those stupid fucking people that I had to interact with during the winter, all those assholes that I had to look in their face and accept whatever bullshit they were saying in my fucking face. And I just, in the summer, I'm just like, I remember when he said that to me, and I was just like, whew, couldn't get more mundane, couldn't get more disinteresting. I'm going to a concert now. I have to forget about you. I have to take all of these things and I have to just throw them at that stage. It's a transferal of energy. I let it all pile up. I let it all go to the ceiling. Drive 600 miles.
Crack a natter day.
I crack that natter day. I drink it. I release the mundane drudgery of my existence into the huddled, sweaty mass. And then they take it with them. I don't need that shit anymore. You take it with you. You fat fuck in the middle of the pit, sumo wrestling. Just take it.
Spinach lasagna recipe. Take it. It's yours. Make sure you add some artichokes. It's delicious.
Brent, you'll want to try this recipe. You really want to try it. Oh, I will. I want to try it as I'm sitting on my computer trying to get tickets to the next available time where I will be able to put this into the void. That's what I need, Dylan. I need this stuff. I need these little things. I need this outlet to be able to just fart that fucking annoying shit straight into the air. Get it out of my life. Anyway. That's what it is. If anybody wants to know what it's like to just go that long of a distance and do what we did and talk about what we talked about, I'm not going to tell you what it is. I'm not going to try to. It's like the end of the Matrix when he's on the phone at the end of the Matrix. He's like, I'm going to paraphrase it, but he's like, I can tell you that everything is the way that it is. You can keep believing that. You can keep thinking that this is what it is. But until you're truly ready, I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you what that world can be like when you're ready. That's what it is. I want everybody to do this. I want everybody to go to the Indy 500, get heat stroke, think you're going to have to go to the med tent, tell everybody that the water's out at the thing that you're sitting at and that there's more water over there. I want them to do all the exact same things, feel all the exact same emotions. Why? Because everyday life is fucking shit. Everybody that looks at an EDM show as vapid, you know how many of those, there's so many of them, there's so many people. And you know what? It might be. Newsflash, an EDM show might be vapid. It might be as devoid of meaning as anything else. I don't know. That's not for me to decide, I guess. Is the Indy 500 snake pit is it culture? I don't know.
Who cares?
I don't think it is, but maybe it is. I don't know. Maybe I'll know years from now whether or not I participated in a culture of it, but that's the fun. I'm the only one that knows that. I only know about my own experience. But what I love to think about more than anything, Dylan, is as we're driving home, how many other people are driving home from the snake pit, sunburned out of their mind. Their eyeballs are about to fall out of their head because they've melted. They're going to literally come out in pools.
I literally wasn't awake until Thursday.
Yep. I wasn't either. I quite literally felt as though I wasn't in reality. I didn't feel like I was a part of my own physical existence. I was just like, I was a floating pile of plasma for days afterwards. And I didn't even take any drugs. I didn't need to. I already fully felt like this experience
My face
simultaneously,
My face was roasted like a jalapeno.
it just defies all logic. Why would anybody do it? I tried to explain it. It's hard. It's hard to explain to somebody. My mom's like, call me. I want to know how your race day went. I don't know what to tell you.
I watched it for about 5 minutes.
Mom, I didn't go to the race for the reasons that you or anybody else would think that I did. That wasn't the aim. The aim was for me to take a big old slice of that culture cheesecake. Oh, it's so delicious, Dylan. That beautiful fruit-topped culture cheesecake that is the friend road trip to the debauchery town. I don't know how to explain it. It's rich, decadent, flavorful, but other than that, I don't know. I said,
if anyone asked, I said I just went to the Indy 500.
it's kind of like
How was
when
it?
people when people try to ask me, what do you do for a living? It's like, ooh, I don't know.
Work
I
in
work
an
for Radio
office?
Shack. Is that still a thing? Nope. Radio Shack's out of business.
You work in an office.
I work in an office. Yeah, exactly. What did you do at the Indy 500?
I went to the Indy 500.
You naive shrew. You if only I could explain it to you in terms that your tiny little brain could possibly understand. The snake pit.
You went to
Guy,
a race, but
you know
didn't
what I'm
watch
saying?
the race?
Nope. No.
Yeah,
I don't got to explain shit to anybody. I don't got to explain it to you, Karen. I don't want to hear about another buffalo chicken dip recipe. It's fucking easy. 4 ingredients, Karen. Okay? I know how to make it.
It's got celery in it, though.
Yeah, well, guess what? Fucking, you're about as bland as the additional ingredient that you put into it, Karen, and you hold just about as much water. How's that? Huh? That's what's happening with you, Karen. Yes, you know what's happening with me? I transcended reality. I became a higher being. I watched a few people almost die of heat stroke. I went into a porta potty that was less than savory. Nobody ate breakfast, Karen. Nobody did. On this, the day of our Lord, the Indy 500 snake pit, no one consumed breakfast on this day. What they consumed for their breakfast was 30 packs of Natter Day and 15 packs of Truly. That's what they did. They went in, coolers filled, bellies empty. They peed out all their problems, Dylan.
Pissing the night away.
Drink a seltzer drink, you drink a Natter Day. And if you need to pee, the toilet's all around you. That's what it is. And if you decide, Dylan, that you're going to get to the front of this crowd as you did, you're going to make the decision that I might die. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You get up there, you got to get close to the glory. You got to get, you got to get in that after movie. I don't know what to tell you. You're just trying to get in the after movie. So look, the only way to do it, got to get up front. You got to plant yourself front and center on those cameras. You got to look at them. You got to point at them. You got to get your moment. You got to get your moment of immortality. You got to, for years to come. Grandpa, what was the snake pit like? Son, you'll never know how crazy that shit was. You'll never know, ever. In your dying breath, you'll say, remember that joke about Dog the Bounty Hunter and his big titty wife? And then you'll fade into oblivion.
That was a good one.
If I get to die, Dylan, and I get to say at the end of the sentence that I say, that was a good one. Whether it's a fart, whether it's a fucking joke I just said, whether it was a joke that somebody else just said, as long as I get to say, that was a good one. Got him. And just fucking fade, just gone. That's all I could possibly want in life. That's all. That's all I'm looking for. And then the tombstone gets put up, and it says,
It's just a little caricature of the Grim Reaper, and he's just saying "got him"
"Got him."
in a voice bubble, a little talk bubble.
Here lies Brent Pickard.
Got
They
him.
finally got him. They
The
didn't ever got him before.
The ultimate Gotti.
Gotti, the Gotti that will live on forever. That's what it's all about, Dylan. The escapism. The freedom to be able to say, with what little freedom we have in our lives, right? You know, there's very little. We all experience it. The drudgery of day-to-day living. We go and do what we need to do. We talk to Karen. We listen to Karen. Karen says the thing that she's going to say. Your boss comes in and says some shit, and you're like, whatever, that's the boss. He says stuff. What? Cool.
Got it.
Then you
thanks.
come home. You fucking make Karen's recipe because now you're so morbidly curious about that fucking recipe. Now you're going to make it. And then you eat it, and then you're like, all right, we'll do this again tomorrow. That's every day for me.
It tastes good. Maybe I'll listen to Karen next time.
It's okay, Karen. Don't listen to me, Karen.
don't
Do
need
not
your
under any
goddamn
fucking
Index
circumstances.
cards filled with recipes, all right? I get it. Keep them to yourself. Once a week. You get one a week.
I could go online any other time, Karen, and get some shit from Bon Appetit. I don't fucking need
I can
Karen's
scroll through that bullshit.
that 15 fucking paragraphs.
15 paragraphs about your kids and how much they love orange slices. Just tell me which way to cut the orange slices. Do I leave the peel on or not? Jesus. Can't
That's
scroll
why
through your bullshit, Karen.
That's why we need this, Dylan. That's why we need it more than we even personally realize. We push down every day the mundane nature of our existences, and then we say to ourselves, we give ourselves a little treat. We give ourselves a little treat. We go, we're on the internet, and then Justin, he sends us a little link. He sends us something on it, and we get excited. We look on our text messages, and we say, and we're like, ooh, I wonder what Justin's sending me now. And he's like, hey, buddy, take a look at this. Take a look at this thing. Maybe we could do it. And then you think, oh, there's no way we could do that. And then Karen comes in again. And now this time it's a dessert recipe. And oh my God, I'm on keto, Karen. I don't want to hear it. I don't eat sugar, okay? Not again. And I know it seems like you probably forgot that I don't eat sugar. It's fine. Just get out of my office. And then you're like, we can do this. People push you over the edge. One day just gets to you and really fucking stabs you right in the goddamn stomach, and you turn it, and then you get online again, and you're like, how far really is it to Indianapolis? How bad could it be? And then you just
9 hours isn't that long. I worked that
it's not
every
that
day.
long. You just, and then you're like, all right, I gotta do this. I have to prove to myself that I can exit my reality, and I can just be in this one. It's the greatest experience ever. It really is. Doesn't matter what happens. It's all about the journey, baby. That's what everybody should know. And look, I only got one go around, baby. I ain't gonna be around forever. If one of your fucking friends, if one of your friends says, I think we should do this, the only reason why you should ever say no is if you're on fire. And then maybe it's just a maybe, because you don't know if you're going to come out of it or not. But listen, don't ever, under any circumstances, say no. Just don't. Because even if it's bad, it's still good. It's just like a bad trip. It's like if you smoke a lot, too much weed, and you bring yourself on like a spooky, it gets a little bit spooky. Sometimes, smoke a little bit too much, and you're like, uh-oh. Like it's an a moment. Like
here come the ghosts.
It's not that kind. It's like, oh, it gets a little bit. Your mind is a real humdinger sometimes, and getting really, really up there sometimes. Yeah, it can be a little scary. But the thing is when you come out of it, you're like, wow, that was cool. Like, it was scary, but boy, it was pretty neat too.
I won't mind
That's
if I
the whole
accidentally
thing.
do that again.
Sure, every once in a while, and I mean, look, you kind of need it. Every once in a while, you need a little bit of like, whoa, what? I don't know why. Why did that just happen? That was a little scary, weird, unexpected. Just checking to see if I'm alive. That's all it is. You just check in with yourself every once in a while and be like, do I? Is there a pulse? Do I? Am I? Just hold your neck. Just give yourself check the pulse a little bit. And be like, oh, 120 over 90. Yep, I'm still there. Still alive, still kicking. So Dylan, that's what it is. We stayed alive. We stayed strong. We got burnt in more ways than one. We ate a lot of White Castle, played shack basketball in the middle of the kitchen. I mean, these are just things that happen. It's hard to tell people. It's hard when you go to them at work and you're like, how is the India?
Good.
I don't want to. I don't want to tell you. I have no reason to do that. It's it's like it's just like anything else.
1 hour of this trip would make you look at me side-eyed for the rest of your life, so I'm just going to tell you it was good.
From moment to moment, the identity that I carry with me on a trip like this is none that anybody's ever seen before. What people witness of each other during these particular times is however many days you're going to live, however many days you live. This is the one, and however many days that is. That's that moment right there. That's that section of the whole seminar, is they saw you in a way that nobody else will ever see you ever again. That's the freedom of it. The whole thing is like, we're going on this trip. We're all starting to get a little loopy. We're all starting to get a little bit unhinged, a little bit unchained. And then, lo and behold, some weird shit gets said that you never want to repeat again. You do some weird shit that you never want to tell anybody ever that you did. And that's what the snake pit is. And everybody that went there, they had that Vegas experience. What happens at the snake pit stays at the snake pit. Just that's you. That was you there in that little moment, and then you're probably gonna want to throw that away.
Right in the
I'm just
trash.
gonna want to let it go right in the garbage.
Just
Just
leave
like
it in
all
the
those
mud.
coolers.
Leave
Yep,
it in the mud with all the coolers.
exactly. You want to, and that's very symbolic, isn't it? That like that's what you want to do. You want to go. You want to dump everything out. Everything, all of it. Get rid of all of it. Get rid of Karen's recipes. Get rid of your boss. Get rid of the office. Just let all of that just melt like a fucking surrealist painting. And then you get to the real core of it. What's the real part? It's everybody. We're all looking at each other. We're all looking at the stage. We're all feeling it. The bass is a little bit too loud. It makes your fucking whole existence vibrate. And then you just do it, and you leave it. You put all that in your cooler, and then you fucking throw that right into the mud pit. There it is. That's all that stuff. It's gone. Bye. That's probably how nobody wanted me to explain this trip. That's just how I felt like I wanted to. I wanted to explain it as one big drawn out metaphor about the nature of concert going. So, what else did we do? Nothing. That's it. Here we are. Here it is.
Here I am.
Here I am. Listen to that Dog Blood record. Speaking of Skrillex, did the windows down test. Passed with flying colors. It's
Some
exquisite.
might argue the only way to listen to it.
I don't feel like there is another way. I feel like that's the only way to listen to it. If you're even remotely interested in this type of music, that's the only way to do it. It gives it enough air.
Yeah.
Because it pumps a little bit too hard when you got the windows up. It kind of balances everything out when you got the windows down. You got it cranked real high. And it gives you just enough of that. Gives you some space to work with. There's some crazy shit. It's terrifying. It's terrifying music. It's weird and it doesn't make sense.
It's perfect.
But it's good. It's really perfect. It's just what it felt like when I was listening to it was I was like, this is a man who is at this point, he knows what he's got to do when he's at like a live show or whatever. But like this is of a whole different category of shit. This is a strange whole new animal that he can just do because he can now. It's
Well,
just a
they did it
completely
before.
uncompromised thing. Well, yeah, but I mean, this is just like in the current era of thinking about Skrillex and going to the concert, it kind of further emphasizes that point. Like you go to the concert, he does this thing, he plays the Skrillex thing, he does it, it's him, it's Skrillex, and then you go and listen to this Dogblood thing, and it's like, artistically, this had everywhere to go. He just went exactly and did what he wanted to do. That's very experimental, super avant-garde. It's just, it's some fuck a genre type of shit. That's all that was. That's all that's happening there. And I appreciate it greatly because I don't feel like there's enough of that. I don't feel like there is enough of just if you are so incredibly talented as he is at producing and doing all the things that he does, to just make whatever the fuck that is. Like, just do that. Just make some crazy shit. That's what we all want. And I'll probably never listen to it again. Maybe I will. Maybe I'll listen to it again. I've already listened
to it like 3 times.
Yeah, I kind of just like
me.
it. You know what else I really like about it? How short it is and how it just, you know what I mean? It has that, yeah, it just has a
1, 2, 3, 4. All right.
Has an immediacy, and it's like, yeah, the strangeness of it is surprising. Yeah, it's good shit.
It's good shit, Miyagi.
I don't know what to do right now. I'm sweating my ass off. It's so fucking hot in here. I'm having a moment. Today, it's like I wanted to do a bunch of shit, but you just don't. Fucking try to find that Apple Pencil. It pisses you off. You don't want to do anything else. That's just what it is, man. What are you looking at right now? It feels like you're very intensely trying to find something.
I was just looking at the date and see. I'm trying to figure out what I got going on for the rest of the month.
I'm trying to figure out what is even. It feels like I lost the last 2 months. I can tell you that pretty safely. Like, I just want summer to happen so badly. It just doesn't feel like it's really there yet.
I need to go through my emails and see what I have planned.
The golf thing, I'm trying to figure that all out. I'm trying to do this. I'm trying to record this DJ set. I want to do this 90s thing. None of it's coming. It's like it feels like I'm on a block. It just doesn't feel right. There's something that doesn't feel right.
Medicine. Nothing's coming. Oh,
that's why
I'm still delirious. Whoops.
I feel like I am still in like a weird state of like flux. It's just a strange feeling. I'm sure all of them probably came home and they were just like, what the fuck is life? What is any of this? Justin has to go in the next day, burnt to a fucking crisp, and sit there and turn his fucking wrench and just keep fucking turning that fucking thing. And he's got people he doesn't want to talk to, just like I do. Everybody's got that shit. People they don't want to talk to. People they just would rather, like, oh my God, I just had to deal with this giant group of fucking 30,000 people. Now I have to go in there and I have to look at you. I have to answer questions. I have to listen to you talk about what you did. Oh, did you have a great weekend, Steve? Oh, yeah, I had a great weekend. Me and the kids. Go back to fucking Wisteria Lane where you came from. Go fucking mow the lawn in a pair of fucking white made in the USA New Balances like we all know you want to do. Jerry.
Frank.
I bet you really like World War II, don't you, Jerry? I bet you your kids always buy you that shitty tie that's got the fucking naval battle cruisers on it.
You can't stand that the History Channel turned into the alien bullshit and got rid of all the Hitler.
why do my kids every single year buy me a coffee table book about fucking World War II battalions? Why? Is that the one dimension by which I am measured in my existence? Is my dad really likes World
Tanks.
War II? Well, good, because that's what everybody else's dad really likes. Maybe except for my dad. My dad really likes Kiss. My dad really likes old stereo equipment. My dad really likes pissing out the back door of his man cave while waving to the neighbors. That's what my dad likes. Maybe that's what made me the way that I am. Maybe it's because I didn't have that dad. I don't who like I don't know many dads like that really. I think they're becoming few and far between. The buyer dad a tie for Father's Day, likes hunting, fishing, and wears Merrill shoes and fucking Dockers. You know that guy? Goes kayaking on the weekends. A real outdoor Adirondack life kind of
Asshole.
guy. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you know what? To each their own, Dylan. Why would I judge them? You ever think that we're gonna be the guys in our 40s that are still going to these shows? You ever think about that? I think
I'll
about it
probably
all
be
the
dead by
time.
then.
Listen, if it's anything like this trip, I don't think you'll be dead. I think you'll be wondering why you're not. That's what I think you'll be wondering at 40. You're gonna be like, why am I not dead? Like, it's not. I don't see it happening for you. I just see it happening of just you being like, how did I get here again?
Why?
That's another thing. It's just like, why is this happening? But that's what I think about all the time.
Why
Dylan. I
is
think
my
about
summer
like
booked?
my summer is booked and I'm 40 years old. What shows am I possibly going to? Who's still around?
They're all
Are
dead.
there other people my age at this show? What's happening? Why?
Everyone I like's dead, and fucking Jimmy Buffett's over here still singing about Margaritaville.
Oh, look. I think as we go on a little bit, as we go on, we remember all the times we had together. It feels like I always had this conversation with you about what bands do you think are going to be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame 20 years from now. But the other thing that kind of goes hand in hand with that was what I was just saying was what bands do you think we're going to be seeing 20 years from now? Like my dad went and saw Slaughter
Ugh.
at the Turning Stone Resort Casino Ballroom Event Center or whatever the fuck that is.
I haven't been there in
That's what he
forever.
went and
I think the
saw.
last show I saw there were the Cars when they toured with Todd Rundgren there.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, did he play I don't want to work. I just want to bang on my drum all day.
They played all Cars songs. I don't think they,
Oh,
I don't remember. It was a real long time
come
ago.
on, Todd, dude. That's your best song. Royal Caribbean commercial, dude. You're not
Yeah,
going to
it
play
was-
me the
it
Royal
was
Caribbean
the
song?
It was the Cars, not Todd Rundgren live. All right.
Todd Rundgren live featuring the Cars and Chris Ocasek, incidentally. Rick Ocasek. Why did I say Chris? Chris Novoselic. Anyway, what was I trying to say? Oh yeah, if we're going and let's even, my dad is what, 50 something, 50, 52, 51, 52. Let's just say 50. Are we going to be going to metal shows? Maybe it'll come back around. Maybe the metal show will come back around, Dylan. That's what we'll be going to. Going to an Asking Alexandria show? Is that what we're doing, Dylan? What are we doing? Are we going to a Kill Switch Engage show when we're 50? I'm looking forward to it. I don't know about you, but I'm looking forward to the kind of not give a fuck type of attitude that comes with going to see some shit like that.
You know why it's hard to think about? It's because the bands nowadays, they just tour all the time. So you can't really think about a band that would stop touring and then come back in 20 years to tour again.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe
we have bands like the Rolling Stones out there that are in their 70s, almost 80, and the Who that are in their 70s, almost 80.
Maybe we'll get a Blink-182 reunion in like 20 years.
I guarantee it. I guarantee it.
Maybe that's what we'll be going to see.
It'll be like that. It'll be like Pearl Jam. It'll be
Green
a lot of the
Day.
90s stuff, Green Day.
Although
I
there's,
think that's what we're going
I
to be
could see
doing.
them stop touring pretty. Like they don't tour that much, so I could see
No,
them.
they do big shows. So it's like that's what's curious. That's what makes me curious
That's
all the time.
the hard thing to think about is what band's gonna stop touring.
Well, that's why it goes hand in hand with the bands that are going to be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Because what bands do you think right now that you've seen in the popular consciousness over the past 10 or 15 years, or during our formative years in the the mid 90s, early
I mean,
2000s?
Nine Inch
The
Nails
bands
still
in the
isn't in there.
9 Inch Nails. That's yeah, that's good. That's one. I would think that
That's a
like
shoe in.
there's
Like
at least a
that's an
few.
easy one.
Yeah, real easy. I think there's I think there's a few
Coldplay,
things in there. Yeah, Coldplay will stand the test of time.
even though I don't like them, it's like
You just know that
yeah, it's
they're
just one of
very
those.
talented. You just know that that's what it is. Like they're just that. They have that
Maybe Kings
ubiquity.
of Leon
Wow.
or I don't know. I just know they had like they had a good run. I don't know if they still got their run going on. I feel like if they that's that kind of music where if they can keep a steady.
Mhm. Like U2. It's kind of like that same idea of
Yeah,
U2, where
yeah.
it's like it seems like it's a very similar formula to it. It's got an epic a Mumford and Sons. I feel like Mumford and Sons could go do the same
Yeah,
thing.
maybe.
They go like the full way.
They just starting to sound too much like this, just the same song over and over again. They're driving fucking Piccadilly bullshit.
It's just the banjo riff in the background to like
Yeah.
crazy atmospheric fucking yeah.
Yeah.
I will wait for you. Like to
Taylor
think,
Swift.
yeah, be an old broad out there just fucking shaking it around, singing "Shake It Off," like Kylie Minogue. That new song by Kylie Minogue that I liked. That's weird. Just to know that she's gonna keep going. Cher, Celine Dion. That's
Cher,
good.
yeah.
That's a thing.
Shares
Those are all those.
Shares like next year though.
Yeah, that's true.
Like it's Whitney or Janet Jackson was this she got inducted this year.
You think Cher will be the next one?
Oh yeah, Cher's like that pick. I could see Cher, I could see Mariah Carey being that like R&B pick.
Mm-hmm. And then to think like trap music right now. That's a thing. That's what it is right now. That's the biggest musical genre in the country.
Well, yeah,
in
but
the world.
It's not like a note. Like I guess Migos is maybe the one notable, but it's just a ton of different artists putting out the same style of music. Not.
Yep. But is it like 10 years ago when we heard Scary Monsters and Nice Sprites for the first time, when we heard, Equinox for the first time, we were like, what is this? Like it didn't have, there was nothing out there like it.
Yeah,
there were people saying that it's like all UK dubstep was like, the
Scream
the old Scream and shit like that. Yeah, whatever. I mean, that is what it is. But like at the same time, it's like sometimes a refinement of an existing genre can be enough to create a new genre. Like it's so unique and so prevalent that there's something about it that I think it comes down to the same kids that liked metal, the same kids that like hip hop, the same kids that they like the next thing. They're going to like the next thing. They're going to replace it with something else. So it's like the kids that like metal, they're kind of liking dubstep now because they can do the rail riding.
And
they can do the neck breaking. It is metal. It's in no short order. All dubstep really essentially is
back
the breakdowns in the middle of metal songs.
It came back
done
around
with
on
keyboards. Yeah, 100%. It came right back because now you have like the Sullivan Kings of the world. You have the Snails of the world that are doing they fully embrace the idea that dubstep is essentially a rhythmic replacement for what would have been hardcore metalcore, these rhythmic metal genres, groove metal, even going as far back as like something like Pantera, like something like dun 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 dun. That's the same shit. That's the same shit as womp, 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 with a backbeat on it. That's all it is. Your neck breakers and your fucking rail riding and all of this shit is just really the same physiological response that we all felt when you were at a Bullet for My Valentine show, when you were in Asking Alexandria show, during the breakdown. Dun 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 dun. It's that revolving door, that revolving hypnotic head nod, head bob, four to the floor. Dun 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 dun, and then your dubstep is just dun 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 dun. Uh-oh, dun 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 dun. It's all the same shit. You're moving the same way. You feel the same stuff. It's so interesting to see that be what it is. So interesting to see that there are kids, there are teenagers that were born at the time where Skrillex came out, where there wasn't in any way, shape, or form a resurgence of metal like there was in 2004 all the way up to 2009. Like those 5 years, that big 5-year gap with metalcore coming back into the fray.
It's like 12 maybe.
But didn't it really feel like there was a pretty solid replacement of those two ideas when Skrillex first came out? It was kind of like a Nirvana type of effect.
No.
It didn't feel like that to you?
No,
maybe it's just rose-tinted glasses.
We went to fucking...
Yeah, we went to metal shows at the same time.
At like in 2010 that was that Warped Tour?
Yeah.
And
it didn't feel like it was starting to fade though there?
No, that
at
was
that
like
time?
that was literally the height of it. That was when the whole Warped Tour was Asking Alexandria, Attack.
Right.
Because
the thing is that there was two moves of Warped Tour though. The first move was Blink-182.
Yeah, what I'm saying is that metal.
The second wave.
This wave that you're talking about.
It was at the height of the second wave.
Yeah, you said moved out
you're right.
2009 or whatever.
Yeah, it didn't.
It was
you're
like
right.
in its highest till probably 2012.
2012, 2013 was when we first started realizing that what was going to happen with electronic music, especially what was going to happen with hard electronic music, was going to change fundamentally. It never got bigger than it did around that time when we were first starting to discover Marshmello. We were first starting to discover, I mean, this was after Skrillex, but like even as late as, 2015, where it was like 2015, 2016 is like, oh my God. As early as 4 years ago is like, oh my Lord, it's going to get even bigger than it was. We thought it was big because it was just us in it. We were just like, this is the biggest thing ever. This is what it all is. But then like it started to enter a public consciousness that even went further. It went drastically further. The kind of how I knew a little bit of it was happening was when you started to hear that song. Remember that song? And it feels like I am just too close to love you. There's nothing I can't really say. I started hearing it on indie radio. Like I started hearing it on EQX up here, and it's a dubstep song. But it's like it was watered down so that people could understand what it was. Or that part in Going Down for Real by Flow Rider where it hits that dubstep part.
That part, right?
That's another part where it breaks it down and it does that. It breaks down to the 2x2 like the. There's a dubstep part in Going Down for Real, kind of.
Well, yeah, and then Taylor Swift, I Knew You Were Trouble.
Mm-hmm. And then, of course, Dylan, we have.
And now we just got Everything's a Melodic House song.
Everything's a Melodic House song, but also 4 years ago
on Spotify,
Imagine Dragons.
Yeah.
Radioactive. Radioactive took this idea, this song, this sound concept, and said, what if it was derivative? What if it just lacked all experimentation, or we took all of the hard edges of it off and we just sanded it down to a fine, shiny exterior and then just put 4 fucking nameless ass dudes in front of it? Ask anybody to name any fucking member of Imagine Dragons. Any member. Nobody can. Nobody can fucking name a member of Imagine Dragons. They don't exist. It's literally 4 guys who make music. That's all I know. And they make the shittiest derivative fucking bullshit I can possibly imagine and think of forever. 4 guys. Don't know who they are. Never will know. Anyway, I could tell you Chris Martin's from Coldplay. I could tell you Matt Healy's from the 1975. I could at least tell you one name of all of those faceless bands. I could tell you that fucking
Well, maybe I can't
Matt
tell
Bellamy is from Muse.
There you go.
Matt Bellamy. There you go. I could tell you that guy. I can't tell you the rest of the people in the band.
Oh, there's another band for you for the Hall of Fame.
Muse? Yes, I believe that as well. They follow very similarly in that U2 footstep of that very
stadium rock.
Very stadium, extremely successful stadium rock. What the hell was I talking about?
I have no clue.
I don't know either. I'm just starting to have a heat stroke again. It's so hot in here.
We're good.
How much time?
We got an hour and 10.
We didn't want to do an 18-hour podcast. I told you this would happen. I told you we went through the 10-hour car ride. We said all we needed to say, and then if you don't know, then you won't know, nephew. What's up? Deuces. Like, that's it. That's all it's gonna be.
Oh, I knew that's what it was gonna be. You just froze up right at the end.
Yeah.
All right, you're
perfect.
Good. You're good. You came back. Yeah. I gotta get ready. I'm going to go see Aladdin.
Oh my god! I can't even believe it. I want to go see that. That was something Becky wanted to see. What the fuck was the other movie? What's another good movie that's out right now?
John Wick 3?
No.
Booksmart.
What the fuck movie was it?
It's Booksmart.
What the hell is Booksmart? The fuck?
Booksmart is a female super bad.
Rocket Man, Dylan. I wanted to go see Rocket Man.
Oh, okay. What about Booksmart?
And I think it's gonna be a long, long time.
Touchdown
brings me round again to find. So, Dylan, what have we learned today? We've learned that the Indy 500 snake pit is something that we're never going to do again, and by God, I hope everybody does it at least once. And then we also learned that Karen is fuck you, Karen. I fucking hate Karen.
I'm gonna go make her lasagna right now, though.
I'm gonna go make Karen's lasagna. It is delicious. Whatever. I'll admit it. It's fine.
You replace the sauce with Alfredo sauce.
Oh, you replace the sauce with undeniable hatred.
Instead of putting meat in it, you use a spinach artichoke mix, Brent.
Does the recipe come to you in the form of a sped up top down video GIF that you see on Facebook? Otherwise, I'm not going to make it. That has been.
I want to go home.
I want to go home too. This has been this very insightful episode of the Jack It Off podcast. If you want to listen to this, by God, why would you? The audio links are available in the description below, and I think I'm going to get back in the van and go to Indianapolis again now. So I'll see y'all next week.
Giddy up.